Hello Area 16 FFA members. My name is Andrea Arnold, and this year I have the amazing opportunity to serve as your area president. Today I welcome you to our virtual area leadership conference this year. Today you will meet with your different area officers and explore their SAEs, and you can truly see how diverse Area 16's agricultural opportunities really are.
Hey guys, I know it's been a rough summer and I hope everybody's doing okay, but I've been busy all summer and I haven't really been able to memorize much other than work orders and different stuff like that. So this speech is going to be a little bit unprofessional and I'm going to be reading it off this screen, but I hope I get the idea across to you guys. My name is Damon Stearns and I'm the Area 16 chaplain. I'm a member of the Dexter FFA and I'm currently the treasurer of our chapter. I live on 90 acres of pasture ground with my grandparents, aunt, uncle, and 30 head of our mama cows. One of my supervised agricultural experiences, or SAE, is cattle, but it's not my main project. I've shown a steer in the fall at the Stoddard County Fair for the past 3 years, and let me tell you, it is not cheap. But I don't have to pay for any of the feed or the calf itself. Me and my grandpa struck a deal that if I help him during the summer, he will buy the feed for me, so it's counted as exchange of labor. This brings me to my main SAE that I do literally every day. My grandparents own a heating and air business that they have me work at during the summer. I've learned a lot about this trade and do many tasks for them. During this summer, I did all kinds of things from making ductwork to putting in a whole new system. I do a lot of running and getting tools too because I'm the low man on the totem pole, and I don't think that's ever going to change. I'll always be the low man in their family. The heating and air industry is an area that will never go away because everyone has become accustomed to being cool when it's hot out and warm when it's cold, and they will do anything to get the air working in the heat of the summer. I have to do a whole bunch of wiring and hooking up wires, but I'm not real good at that because I am red-green colorblind, and that's, not a good job for me, but I have to do it anyway. Having this job as one of my SAEs have really opened a new area of work for me, and I get a general knowledge of many things that will help me at many other jobs. As much as I'd like to take you to work with me virtually, I didn't want to put any of the customers that we work for on the spot by asking them if I can video inside their homes where their heating units are, because most of the time it's real messy in their closets. But I will show you around our sheet metal shop here on the farm with us. So when making ductwork, which is what we started off on, you start with a whole sheet of metal and you just pick it up, take it over here, and start cutting it to the size and dimensions that you need. And my grandpa can run a whole trunk line in his head. He's a mastermind for all this stuff. But once you get the pieces cut out to the right lengths, you come over here and you turn this thing on, and you take the piece of metal through it, that was loud, through it, and it forms a little crease that you can hammer the ductwork together. Then once you have that crease on, you take it over here to the gluing station, which we take these big rolls of insulation out, unroll it, put the metal on there, cut it out, and then use glue, which that glue is very dangerous. It gave my grandma COPD. But after we did that, you get it all insulated, you come over here and you form it into 90-degree angles and other sorts of angles that you need. It just depends on the type you're using. But once all that's done, you just put it all together, and the thing that we made on that machine over there, you hammer it and it creates a formed line. But to put them up in the ceiling, you have to have S's and drives. And that's an easy job. All you have to do is cut it to the length and the width. You stick it in here and you bend it over. And the S's go at the top and the bottom of the duct, and it creates a seal. And then on the sides you put the drives, and we have two little pieces that you stick up and hammer it up, and it keeps it together up in the ceiling. And then this thing right here, we use, it is probably the sharpest thing in the thing. You can take a piece of this metal right here and cut it just like that. But we use this to get the width of the drives and the S's, because they're different, they're not the same. But you have to be careful when you're working with these. It doesn't feel sharp on it, but it is. It's just flat on the bottom, but it'll cut it in half. Then once you have all that done, you pretty much just load it up in the truck and take it to the house. And once you do that, that's all the ductwork that you have to be done.
Hello, Area 16. My name is Katie Harris, and I'm your new Area Sentinel. Now, sometimes I'm stationed by the door, and sometimes I'm stationed by this greenhouse. But what I really like to be stationed by is somewhere I'm unable to be because of situations I'm going through right now, and that's by my sister. Now, my sister has taught me a lot about agriculture. She's taught me that women in the agriculture industry have zero
FFA members. My name is Jay Cerise and I'm your area reporter from Alton, Missouri. I'm so excited to serve y'all this year. I'm going to be talking about placement SAEs. So that means you work at a place, paid or unpaid, that is somehow related to agriculture. This was my SAE my last summer. I'm a junior this year, and last summer I worked at a place called Favorite Fishing USA. It is where my dad works, and my dad's best friend owns it, and their warehouse is located in Thayer, Missouri, which is about 15 minutes from my hometown. Recently, I think it was last summer, they added on Googan baits through the Googan Squad, and I started to work in there. It was really challenging, but also super fun, and I learned a lot of life lessons from that place. I have included some pictures of the favorite rods, of the favorite warehouse, and some pictures and videos of me packing baits and what the Googan baits look like. So take a few minutes to look at those. Honestly, if it weren't for needing an SAE, then I never would have worked at Favorite Googan, and I'm so incredibly grateful that I did. It was super fun to work with my dad and all of his coworkers because they're all his best friends. The work environment down there is so incredible. Like, they're so uplifting and laid back, yet they get amazing things done. It's just really cool to work down there. And I think the really cool thing about an SAE is that it's so diversified. Like, you can do anything. My current SAE is I work at a store called Bluebird General Store, and we sell stuff from snacks to t-shirts to furniture. Like, we have a ton of stuff. And agriculture is so diverse, and there are so many aspects of it, and getting an SAE is easy, but it's just like, it teaches you so many values and lessons. And it's not really about the money you make, it's more about the lessons and values that you gain. Working at Favorite and Googan taught me dedication. I would have to go every morning with my dad. I couldn't drive yet. It was my first real job. And it taught me that with a little hard work and passion, you can do incredible things. My dad's best friend, like I said, owns the company. And they are like a multi-million-dollar company. And he is from Thayer, Missouri. He was born and raised in Thayer, and he just decided that he was passionate about fishing and started this company a few years ago. I remember when he started it. And they are super famous on social media. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. And they connected with the Googan Squad. I'm not sure if you've heard of them either. But I think it's just super cool how all of this passion and hard work has led that company to this place. Recently, just like within the past month, they purchased another warehouse in West Plains, Missouri, and that's where they're going to do that's where they're going to be building the rods. They were building them in China, but they decided to bring it back home to the USA, and that will bring about 60 jobs to our area. So that's really, really exciting. Working at Favorite and Googan, I got to meet so many friends, people that I normally wouldn't associate with because I'm not really that type. And it was just so much fun. I made some of the very best memories there. And having an SAE, it sounds kind of boring. Like, I thought it was boring. I did not think it would be fun. But it truly was so much fun working there. And I've got to meet so many famous people. I've met the Guggen Squad. I've met people from the Cardinals team. I've met Major League Fishing people. I even got to they have a pilot TV show they're working on right now. I showed a picture of my dad doing yoga. You'll see that. Or you saw that probably. But it's just super cool to be a part of something so big. And that's what being an FFA is like. And that's why I'm so passionate about FFA, because it truly changed my life. It's not something that I normally would have put myself in. I'm a really big girly girl, but the opportunities I've been blessed with are absolutely incredible. And just like working at Favorite or Guggen, I kind of did it because I just had to do it. And I kind of fit FFA in my schedule because I just had to. I didn't have any other things to take. And it's incredible. So I encourage you, Green Hands, if you're watching this, or even officers, to just fully immerse yourself in FFA and find an SAE that you're passionate about. It doesn't have to be something boring. If you aren't a big fan of animals, then you don't have to make your SAE about animals. Just find something that you're passionate about and work incredibly hard at it, because I promise that you'll be successful. Okay, I hope you guys have a safe and healthy, absolutely wonderful rest of your year.
County FFA chapter, where his advisors are Michael Wood, Robert Polovic, and Brittany Forgy. Wade lives in Paducah with his parents, Michael and Stephanie Wood. For his SAE, Wade partnered with his brothers to start a farm-to-plate value-added operation known as Wood Brothers Sausage. With 70% ownership, Wade controls all interest and management decisions. His operation has grown tremendously, and he currently cares for 38 hogs that will be slaughtered at 450 pounds. Based on their genetic quality, these hogs are expected to each produce 125 to 138 2-pound sticks of sausage. Wade's Kentucky Proud product has been marketed in 6 different states and is currently served to campers at all Kentucky FFA leadership training centers. He has also learned much about basic business principles, marketing, and sales while earning over $50,000 through his SAE. As a member of the McCracken County FFA chapter, Wade has served as chapter sentinel and vice president. He is the reigning state winner in both the forage production placement and swine entrepreneurship proficiency areas. Wade is actively involved at Vanderbilt Children's Hospital Cancer Survivorship Clinic, where he serves as a mentor. He has also helped the homeless population in his community by participating in Hunters for the Homeless. The Purchase Region Star in Agribusiness, Wade Wood.
Hello, Area 16 FFA members. My name is Andrea Arnold, and this year I have the amazing opportunity to serve as your Area 16 president. For the first part of my SAE, I am out on my family farm. My first part of my SAE is livestock entrepreneurship. Behind me here, I have my Hereford cows, as well as my Brahma bull. Over the years, I plan to really grow my herd and continue to get more Brayford Cross babies, which are right there. Hello, Area 16 FFA members. I'm back with the other side of my SAE. Now, I'm just going to point out a few obvious things right now. First off, I meant to wear my Area 16 polo. But about 10 minutes ago, Neil, my male crested gecko, decided he needed to use the bathroom. So we're rocking the FFA t-shirt look. But anyway, this is my reptile entrepreneurship SAE. So right here I have Neil, my breeding male crested gecko, as well as Mushu, who is climbing down my back. And she was my first crested gecko and is one of my female geckos. So these guys have a really, really cool life. They live in the jungle. in the actual real world. They live in the trees in New Caledonia, and they forage on berries and little bits and tiny little bugs. So these guys are really, really cool because they're not like your typical lizard that you would expect. They're not scaly or fire-breathing or really great big. They're honestly kind of like frogs with a tail.
My name is Tanner Robinson, and I am your Area 16 FFA Vice President. I am a senior from the Poplar Bluff FFA chapter in Poplar Bluff, Missouri. Entrepreneurship is defined as the activity of setting up a business, taking on financial risk in the hope of profit. In FFA, the Entrepreneurship SAE involves personally owning all or part of a business in agriculture or related area. The FFA member has an ownership in the materials, supplies, and inventory, and they must be invested in the learning experience. The SAE also requires the member to record all of their gains, losses, and expenses. Definitely a life skill. The goal of Entrepreneurship SAE is to create a business or project that grows your total profit. Regardless of their business, all entrepreneurs have similar characteristics. They all must have a passion for the business. In my case, it is cattle. They must be determined, competent, innovative, and able to overcome obstacles and failure. Also, entrepreneurs must be willing to work hard. Sounds easy, right? Creating and growing a profitable business, especially in high school, may not be easy. But the Entrepreneur SAE is an amazing learning opportunity that prepares members for the future career success and hopefully a profit. Some examples of an Entrepreneurship SAE are very diverse. You can sell an agriculture-related craft, have a mowing or landscape business, produce and self-bedding plants, have a small or large breed animal farm, or anything in between. The possibilities are endless. You just have to find your passion and get creative. For my personal SAE, I currently own and am trying to grow a small herd of cattle. I received young heifers in 2015. I was 12 years old. These young heifers were offspring of some of our main cattle in our herd. I raised these young heifers for 2 years where I vaccinated, tagged, fed, and monitored them until they were ready to breed with our herd bull and produce calves. I had a lot to learn and needed a lot of guidance there. Those who had more experience, my dad, veterinarians, and experienced cattlemen, but I wanted to learn and be independent in this project. After almost 3 years of caring for and tending my investment, I finally was the owner of cows and calves. Next, I had to care for and invest in the health of the calves. This included vaccinations, tagging, castrating when necessary, and feeding them. Once the calves were weaning age, we sent them off to the sale barn. This is part of the risk of being an entrepreneur. You hope that all you've invested in your business is returned plus some. 5 years later, I had almost doubled my herd size by keeping heifers. I have sold multiple calves and have turned into a small profit. Factors I have had to learn about and consider during my project are breeding schedules, using multiple bulls, rotational grazing, and many other things. I have also experienced setbacks such as low cattle prices and a cow not breeding. Those things are frustrating, but just a part of the business. I have learned a lot and have a lot more to learn. My long-term goal is to continue to grow my herd and eventually consider AI breeding. Even though my SAE is on a smaller scale, I'm proud of what I have accomplished while in junior year and high school. Most importantly, I'm proud of what I have learned and the fact that I have worked closely with my dad and grandpa on our family farm during this time. I also learned a lot from my FFA advisors who helped me with the record keeping and just continue to push me and cheer me on through my project. Because of this, I received my state FFA degree in my junior year and am pursuing my America degree. FFA members have the ability to grow and expand their business ventures as big as they wish by working hard. You can create a business that is rewarding and gain skills that will help you success later in life. I encourage you to find something you are passionate about, use a little innovation, and start your own Entrepreneurship SAE project. The rewards and lessons learned are endless, and you'll be so glad that you took the time and effort. I know I am.
Hey everybody, I'm Danielle Shepard and I reign from the Naylor FFA chapter and I'm serving as your area historian this year. I am so excited and thrilled that I get to serve this year and get to meet each and every one of you in Area 16. Think back to freshman ag. You're in Ag 1, you're the newbie, and you're the green hand. It's probably the first week of school. You're settling down in ag. You're finally getting a little bit in. You probably had your first meeting and you actually want to get into ag. Your advisor asks you what you want to do for your SAE. Now, some of you may have already known what you were going to do coming into freshman year. And some of you might When you finally have your SAE picked, it's a big step. You're a green hand, so you're kind of at the bottom, but picking your SAE is a big thing. Now, when I was a freshman, there was so many people who had diversified livestock SAEs, so they helped me a lot. So when you finally pick your SAE, make sure you find someone who has the same SAE as you. Go to them and talk to them about it. Talk to them about how they keep their record books, what they do to keep everything in line, what they do to do it at the end of the year to add up and make sure they're on track. What they do when they enter them for contest. Find out what made them choose that. Find out why it's important to them. My SAE is so important to me because I aspire to cattle farm one day. I would love to cattle farm on the same farm that my grandpa and my dad have farmed on. I think it's a big thing in my family, and I think it means a lot to me, and I knew that this SAE was going to be good for me because that's what I aspire to do in the future. Over the past 2 years of my high school career, I've gotten to meet so many people who share the same SAE as me, and it's been incredible to be able to talk to them people about the same SAE, which is diversified livestock, and figure out just a little bit more about each one of their SAEs and kind of figure out what their struggles are and how people have helped them overcome them. When I was a freshman, a state officer gave me a piece of advice that stuck by me forever. She said to dive headfirst, and she was completely right. Dive into FFA. Learn that speech. Learn that creed. Do that contest. Be there for your teammates. Thank your advisor for allowing you to do each and everything you do. I'm going to conclude on this. Ask yourself a question. Where would I be if it wasn't for that advisor sitting in front of me today? Now, I'm going to answer that for you guys. If it wasn't for my advisor, Mr. Smith, I would not be where I'm at today. I would not have ran for an area office, and I wouldn't have ran for a chapter office. If it wasn't for Mr. Smith, I wouldn't be half the leader I am today, but he's told me to break out of my shell and to enjoy it a little bit. Now, thank your advisor for everything they do for you, because I promise you it's more than you'll ever know. Thank you guys so much for watching today, and I cannot wait to see where this year leads us all. I hope you guys have a wonderful day.
Hello, I'm Kristen Johnson, and I am the Area 16 Secretary this year from the San Antonio chapter. I have an ownership SAE, and I show weathered market lambs, and I showed you guys some clips of me getting my lamb Harry ready for the state fair. Okay, so in the next clip, I'm going to be drying my lamb, and I want to touch base on this with you guys. So in the Boot Hill, Missouri, the bugs are absolutely horrible, and it can really affect the skin on our livestock projects. So what we do, we let our lamb's wool first grow out, and halfway through the summer, we clip off their baby wool just to see how they're growing and how they're doing. Then we let the new wool grow on, and we keep that on until we clip for state fair, and it just helps their skin stay fresh. And if there's wool fungus or anything, then it'll just kind of heal itself, whereas if the skin was exposed, then it'd be a much different story. And we clip the wool on our lambs because they are market lambs. We are not raising these lambs to breed. If we were raising breeding lambs, then we would leave the wool on.
And this is Harry. He's all nice and trimmed. He's ready to get down, but he is ready for state fair now.
I'm trimming my lamb's toenails, and we try to keep these trimmed every 30 days because, as you can see, they grow up and under and curve, and it also helps prevent from foot rot. So I'm just going to come at an angle. Like after we trimmed up the toenails and on the soft pads on the back of my lamb.
So Y'all are about to see me weigh my lamb Harry, and he was at 120 pounds, and he was right on track for state fair, and he was also gaining the amount of weight he would have needed to gain for SEMO District Fair. Unfortunately, that is canceled this year due to our circumstances with COVID, but I just wanted to let you guys know we do weigh our lambs every 2 weeks just to make sure they're gaining the amount of weight that they need for the fairs, and to make sure they're not gaining too much, or if they're not gaining enough, then we can kind of pinpoint to see if we need to add more feed to them or take some away.
He's right at 120 pounds.
So that was me getting my lamb ready for state fair. I'm going to show you a video of me showing in the ring and some pictures from state fair. It was just really a highlighting moments in my life, and it was my last show considering we don't have any more shows this year, and it was just been so bittersweet to get to show one last time. I absolutely love showing livestock, and I really encourage you guys, if you want to show livestock, absolutely do it. It is just so rewarding. You have so much fun, and you get to raise a cute animal along the way. I hope you guys are being safe, being socially distanced, and I hope that we will all get to meet at some point in this crazy year. And I love serving you guys, and I can't wait to see what the rest of this year holds.
Hi, I'm Lucas Plunkett, and I'm your Area 16 parliamentarian. And today, I'd like to talk to you about my SAE project, which is wildlife management. Today, we are on one of our farms here, and it is a new wetland unit that is under construction still. Our goal is to have a high-quality wetland habitat for all types of wildlife. Is that from ducks and geese, to shorebirds, to large mammals and small mammals, and provide quality for every single one of these with a good diet and a good safe place to be in the wintertime, in the summertime, any of that. We manage by moist soil management. Moist soil management is very key on the way you do it. We have to do soil disturbance and water pull off and put on at a very slow pace. When you do that, you have some good plants if you do it the right way. If not, you'll get bad ones. Here's a few of the good ones I have today that we just pulled out of this field. This first one is millet, a very high protein diet for all kinds of waterfowl. Ducks love this. It is a very good high protein and keeps them very full, and when it gets very cold, they can have a good protein. Or when they're nesting, they have a good protein to lay all their eggs and take care of their young when they only get a few hours to feed. This also here is a yellow nutsedge. Yellow nutsedge has a good seed head on it, but also likes to break down and create good habitat for invertebrates. Invertebrates are also very high in protein, and all types of birds love invertebrates to eat. When we put the water on, we have to put it on very, very slow. When you put it on fast, you'll get a lot of bad plants to grow the next year, and you want to try to increase your odds of having better plants. So when you put it on very, very slow and just let the water creep in and not get very deep either, all of our wetlands are all about 16 inches deep, 17 inches deep at the structure. They're not very deep at all. Optimal, like duck feeding depths, is a lot of times 6 to 8 inches. They don't need that much water to feed in, and they don't like that much water to feed in. They rather it be nice and shallow. They can dip down, get whatever they need off the bottom, and don't have to dive all the way under the water. In the springtime to early summertime, when we drain the water off, we have to drain off very, very slow. If we drag it off slow, it creates a very good mud flat, which all types of wildlife love. All the invertebrates are exposed. Shorebirds will land on it, ducks will land on it, and they'll just eat all those invertebrates that are exposed, and they weren't exposed when they were under the water. And then as that mud flat sits there and the water's on it and it slowly comes off, you get a lot better chance of getting good millet and good yellow nut sedge and good other sedges and annual smartweed to have a better food source. Some of the bad stuff that will grow in wetlands if you rush it off or any of that kind of stuff is cocklebur. And we have some here. I can show you. This field does not have a water drawdown or much soil disturbance, so we kind of have a problem with it right now. But if you get that, you can always come in with 2,4-D before it gets too tall and shades out other plants, and you can spray it with the broadleaf killer of 2,4-D and try to kill all the bad plants there is. One thing we also do is when we fill them up in the wintertime, we like to waterfowl hunt. And we also have an income come off our waterfowl hunts where we sell them to people who want to come and waterfowl hunt and just pay us, and they come here and we guide them and take them out and show them and let them duck hunt on our places. Every year we donate one hunt to the National Wildlife Turkey Federation at their national convention, and that gives us a lot of publicity for people who see us and say, oh man, I didn't get the hunt, but I want to come in and buy a hunt, and we have a lot of people coming in and buy our hunts. So it's a good source of income, and also we get to provide habitat for all sorts of wildlife on our farms, and we get to enjoy doing what we do. There's nothing else I'd rather do than be out here working on these farms and creating awesome habitat for all of our wildlife that we have a chance to have it for. This is basically one of our wetlands that we do this on. We have 2 of them right now. We've always been looking to get more, and we've always just done moist soil management and instead of ag farming. We've never ag farmed before. It's a good, corn's a very good high carb diet in the cold, and the ducks like it, but this high protein diet will keep them fuller for longer, and they have a better chance at staying more full and not having to work as hard to get their food. This is all I have for my SAE here, and I'd like to thank y'all for watching, and this is pretty much it.